คือ page number 4 page number 4 page number 4
Here, right? Uh, Number 4 and 2 pages.
okay this one yeah
Okay.
yeah. In a nutshell or in brief, mindfulness involves non-superficiality of awareness or observation. Okay, yeah. And then another one is keeping the object in view, face to face with the object, which is the main function of sati. And also face to face with the object is also the main function of sati. And then protection of the mind from attack by mental defilement, kilesa, is also another manifestation of sati. Okay, strong and fastness perception is a proximate cause of the sati. Mindfulness is the cause of mindfulness. Sati or mindfulness must be dynamic and confrontational. Okay, this is in brief or in a nutshell about mindfulness. Now we come to the main object of sati, which is we call the foundation of mindfulness. You come to page number 5, please. Page number 5. Okay, yeah, this page. Now you come to the major teaching of the Buddha, particularly concerning mindfulness or mindfulness meditation. We call contemplation of four foundation of mindfulness, namely contemplation of the body, contemplation of the feeling, contemplation of the mind, and contemplation of the mind object. กายานุปัสสนาสติปัฏฐานเวทนานุปัสสนาสติปัฏฐานจิตตานุปัสสนาสติปัฏฐานธรรมานุปัสสนาสติปัฏฐาน So when we talk about the four foundation of mindfulness, you have to understand the hallmarks of four foundation of mindfulness. So in the Buddhist scripture, the Buddha mentioned that in order to practice the four foundation of mindfulness, so all of these factors must be included, starting with atapi, sampachano, satigma, atapi, sampachano, satigma. It is written in Tipitaka, in the Buddhist teaching. The Buddha mentioned like this, atapi, sampachano, satigma. My Buddhist teacher, Dr. Patanta Akara Maha Sama Bandit, mentioned that the Buddha talked about this with a beautiful Bali language, but he talked about this in short term with very beautiful language, Atapi Sampachano Satigma. But when we come to the practice, so this is some change. So it starts with Atapi Satigma Sampachano. Atapi, not Sampachano. Satima first and then followed by Sampachano. And what do we mean by Atapi? Atapi means the effort or the other. The effort or the other. Sometimes we use the term viriya. Viriya means effort or other. And then satima. Satima means mindfulness. Satima or mindfulness. That I have already talked about the meaning and the function of sati already. And then after satima, it must be followed by sampachano. Sampachano means clear comprehension. Clear comprehension. Okay. Next one, please. Okay. Now, we come to get more detail in the commentary. The commentator mentioned that not mindfulness satima alone, but mindfulness with concentration. So this point is very significant. So not mindfulness or satima alone, but it must be mindfulness plus concentration, samadhi, mindfulness plus concentration. And then this concentration is essential for clear comprehension or sampachano to arise. Clear comprehension is the same as wisdom or panya. Clear comprehension is the same as wisdom or clear panya. In fact, there is another mental factor that is sattha, means faith or confidence, which arose before the development of atapi or viriya effort, satima mindfulness, samadhi concentration, and wisdom clear comprehension. So it must be first start with sattha. Sattha means faith or confidence in the teaching of the Buddha, particularly vipassana meditation or insight or mindfulness meditation. Next one, please. So move to the next one. Yes, you can see this one. So in the practice of meditation, particularly vipassana or mindfulness meditation, there are 5 components of the meditation practice. We start with the first one. As I have already mentioned, most of us have first sattha, mean faith or confidence in the teaching of the Buddha, in vipassana meditation, so on and so forth. And then the second component is viriya. Viriya means effort. And then viriya is followed by sati. Sati means mindfulness. Yeah, I have already talked about sati in detail. And then sati must be followed by samadhi, not just only sati alone. Sati in combination with samadhi concentration. And the last one is panya. Sati and samadhi will lead to panya or clear comprehension, panya or wisdom. So these are the order of meditation practice. So it can be compared like this. In this figure on the right side, okay, you can see, suppose we have 5 horses carrying a very big carriage. So you see the first horse. The first horse is belong to sati. Okay. The first couple is belong to sattha and panya. Sattha and panya. The second couple, okay, viriya and samadhi. Okay. So altogether there are 5 components: sattha, viriya, sati, samadhi, and panya. But you see the first couple of the horse, it means sattha and panya. Sattha and panya must be in balance. Not suppose you have a panya, not blind faith, but it must be intellectual panya with precise knowledge. Okay, yeah. And then you can see the second couple of the horse, viriya and samadhi. Viriya and samadhi must be in balance. So you can know during the practice of vipassana or insight meditation, when you are in a sitting position, usually you develop what we call viriya. Or not viriya, excuse me. When you are in a sitting meditation, you develop what we call samadhi. Samadhi is very strong. Okay. During sitting meditation. On the contrary, when you start doing walking meditation, right go touch, left go touch, right go touch, left go touch, and then so you have the movement, you have to do some kinds of activity. So these kinds of activity, particularly walking meditation, will give life to viriya. And in the practice, you can see viriya and samadhi must be in balance, must be in balance, must be equal together. Suppose you do sitting meditation for 30 minutes, you are supposed to do walking meditation for another 30 minutes. Suppose you do sitting meditation for 1 hour, you are supposed to do walking meditation for another 1 hour. So sitting meditation and walking meditation must be in balance. Yeah. Okay, go to the next one, please. Now we come to the Buddhist concept of mind. In Buddhist psychology, mind is an English word of the Bali term we call citta. Citta. Citta means the mind. Mind can be also translated as consciousness. Consciousness. So sometimes we use the term, sometimes we use consciousness. So in Bali, another term for citta is vinyana. Vinyana. Vinyana is the same as citta. Yeah, we can use the two terms interchangeably. However, the mind has a greater scope, wider scope than the word consciousness. The mind has a greater and wider scope than the word consciousness. Next one, please. Well, move to the next one, please. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So now we come to more understanding of the word, the mind. The mind, sometimes we use the term Dharma, as I have already mentioned. The mind or Nama is the mental state or phenomenon that has the faculty of knowing an object. Knowing an object. Object means aramana, object. Okay, so the mind has the faculty of knowing an object. Aramana means external sense object, such as visible object. Okay, yeah, we have a different color, different picture, the picture of a human being, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then we have another external object, the sound. It may be the sound from a human being, the sound from the animal, the bird, from music, so on and so forth. And then we have another aramana, smell, good smell, bad smell. And then we have different kinds of odor, okay, good odor, bad odor. And then we have different kinds of taste, okay, yeah, taste, good taste, bad taste. And then we have the tangible object that come into contact with our body. And then the last one, we have a mental object which come into contact with the mind or the mind proper. The mind is a changing process. It's not static. It is in the process of changing all the time, okay? The mind manifests itself into two levels, namely Vithi Chitta and Bhavanka Chitta. Vithi Chitta is the first level, and the second level is Bhavanka Chitta. Okay, yeah. Now we come to the first level of Vithi Chitta. Sometimes we call active consciousness. Vithi Chitta is the active consciousness, and can be compared to the concept of the conscious and the pre-conscious in psychology or in psychoanalysis. Vithi Chitta or Vithi mind manifests itself within the realm of awareness to the six sense organ, maybe the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind proper. It is the state of having knowledge of oneself, one acts, one reaction to external surrounding. So when we talk about Vithi Chitta or active consciousness, so for example, when the visible object impinges on the eye, there arises eye consciousness. So when you see something, okay, So I mean the color come into contact with the eye, okay? The eye, and then there arise our consciousness. In the same manner, when the sound, like the sound from music, come into contact with the ear, there arise ear consciousness. In the same manner, when the smell or odor impinge on the nose, there arise nose consciousness. So in Bali, eye consciousness we call Chakku Vinyana, ear consciousness we call Sota Vinyana, nose consciousness we call Khana Vinyana. And then so when the taste come into contact with the tongue, there arise tongue consciousness. In Bali we call Shilha Vinyana, Shilha Vinyana. In the same manner, when the tangible object, okay, maybe something like touch, something that cause pain, impinge on the body, there arise body consciousness. We call in Bali we call Kaya Vinyana, Kaya Vinyana. And then the last one, when the mind object impinge on the mind proper, there arise mind consciousness. Mano Vinyana, Mano Vinyana. Okay. When we think about the house, okay, this thinking come into contact with the mind proper, and then the mind consciousness arise, Mano Vinyana arise there. So there are 6 kinds of Vithi Chitta, Chakku Vinyana, Sota Vinyana, Khana Vinyana, Shuha Vinyana, Kaya Vinyana, and the last one is Mano Vinyana. Next one, please. And then another level of Chitta we call Bhavanka Chitta. Bhavanka Chitta is the hidden repository of impression and memory of thoughts, as well as other content of which a person is not aware. Bhavanka Chitta is similar but not identical with the unconscious or subconscious in Western psychology. Bhavanka Chitta is wider and deeper in scope than the concept of unconscious in Western psychology. Bhavanka Chitta operates during sleep, and when an individual becomes unconscious or unaware of oneself. You see, sometimes some patients develop what we call coma, or he become unconscious. It means that during that state, he is still alive, but he is in a state of coma, or sometimes he's in the state of unconscious. So at that point, he is still living. He does not die because he still have the function of Bhavanka Chitta that still operated during that time. Okay. Another term, the Bhavanka Chitta. You see, and another term for Bhavanka Chitta is life continuum. So you have to remember this term, life continuum. Usually we use these terms very often. The main function of the unconscious mind is to preserve and to maintain any individual life. Pavanka means existence plus Anka means factor. So it means it's Pavanka Chitta is a factor of life, the factor for maintenance of life. Without Pavanka Chitta, we cannot survive. In Mahayana Buddhism, the term Arayana Vinyana is used. Arayana Vinyana is used. It means the storehouse of mind or unconscious. Okay, Arayana Vinyana in Mahayana Buddhism. It's the same as the concept of Pavanka Chitta in the in general Buddhism. Okay, yeah. Okay. Vithi Chitta and Pavanka Chitta, the conscious and the unconscious. Pavanka Chitta manifests itself during sleep and in a state of unconscious, as I have already mentioned. Suppose, so when you feel sleepy and then you go to bed and then you sleep, so you are not aware of yourself. You cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot smell, you cannot touch anything. You cannot think of anything. So you are in a state of the unconscious or Pavanka Chitta. Okay. Interestingly enough, Pavanka Chitta can occur between the present Vithi Chitta and the next one. So you will see later that we have what we call present Vithi Chitta, and then the present Vithi Chitta will be followed by the next Vithi Chitta. So between the present Vithi Chitta and the next Vithi Chitta is a gap. Yeah, this gap very short one. This gap is what we call Pavanka Chitta. It's very short, very short. That is, it can arise with you a very short period of time between one thought process to another thought process. Okay, from one Vithi Chitta or to another Vithi Chitta. Just a very short period of time. Yeah. The next one, please. Okay. This one is not very clear, but you can see a little bit about the green color, the green color here. Okay. And then the spread of the nerve impulse to different parts of the brain, to the front part of the brain, to the middle part of the brain, to the behind part of the brain. Okay, and then below belong to the brain stem. You can see, okay, you can see the green, the green color we call lenticular formation. Yeah, the green color. Lenticular formation is very associated with what we call the consciousness or the active consciousness. They are related together. So we develop active consciousness or Vithi Chitta, because we have reticular formation, which is the main function of the brain. It has an impulse from the brain stem and then come to the brain, and then it spread to different parts of the body, as I just mentioned. Next one, please. Okay, now we come to the reticular formation. The ascending reticular activating system, ARAS, or in short, reticular formation, RF, is an area of gray matter that extends from the spinal cord to the brainstem into the diencephalon, particularly thalamus and hypothalamus. The reticular formation influences activity level of the cerebral cortex. That is, it influences the organism's general level of alertness or level of consciousness. So we are aware of ourselves, we are alert, we know what we are doing now. And this is related to reticular formation. And as I have already mentioned, reticular formation works very closely with the level of consciousness, particularly Vithi Chitta. It may be ear consciousness, okay, eye consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, or even when we are thinking about anything, we are aware of that. So all these are related to what we call reticular formation. And also reticular formation is also related to what we call sleep and wake cycle. Sleep and wake cycle. So the absence of arousal produce stupor or coma. So it is something that interferes with the function of reticular formation. So this will produce what we call stupor or coma, or the process of the unconscious. The process of the unconscious. Yeah. This also related to the function of the heart, and also there are the brain. Okay, you can see from the brain there are different kinds of nerve that pass to different parts of the heart. Okay, we will talk about this in detail later. Yeah. So this is a part of the bill. You can see not very clearly, but you can see. You see over here is the front part of the brain. You can see some we call thalamus. Okay, you can see from the brain stem. Yeah, you see reticular formation. Okay, yeah. And then you can see temporal lobe. You can see corpus callosum, and then you can see this part of the parietal lobe. And also above, you can see the frontal lobe, over here. Yeah. So you can see the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, okay, this part, and also inside the brain is we call relay station, yeah, or thalamus over here, and also reticular formation, which we just mentioned, which are related to level of consciousness. or วิถีจิตตะ yeah. Okay, this part is much clearer. Okay, then we have on the high brain we have cerebellum, and you can see reticular formation over here. It comes from the spinal cord. Okay, reticular formation which are related to a level of consciousness, and then we have over here. We have the midbrain pawn medulla, okay, the pawn here, and medulla oblongata, this place, medulla. And then we have pituitary gland, mammary body, and then we have a diencephalothalamus, hypothalamus, and then we have a phonic sequence cortex. Okay, we talk about in detail later. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this figure is very significant. This part we call limbic system. Limbic system is a part of the brain related to emotion, motivation, and also some kinds of drive here. Limbic system consists of here, you see the thalamus, and then the hypothalamus, okay, yeah, below hypothalamus we call hypothalamus, and then amygdala here. Amygdala is very significant part of the limbic system, and then we have a hippocampus here, like the ring structure over here. Yeah, hippocampus. Yeah, and then we have olfactory bulb over here. And then we have a corpus callosum. It's part of the brain, which join both the cerebral hemisphere, right hemisphere, and left hemisphere all together. But this figure, I would like to show you the significance of limbic system. Yeah, and then we will talk about this later, limbic system. Okay, limbic system. As you have already seen in the previous figure, limbic system consists of thalamus, hypothalamus, amygdala, and hippocampus. So the function of a limbic system deal with emotional expression, deal with fight or flight. You know, fight or flight is great. Reproduction. It also deal with hunger, satiation, motivational responses, and also memory. So it has different kinds of function, but particularly regarding emotion expression, fight and flight, hunger, and also motivation and memory. The limbic system combined with the prefrontal cortex, which deal with socialization and thinking process, are called limbic cortex, or sometimes we use the term the mental brain, the mental brain. So for most scientists or neuroscientists, they believe that the seat of the mind is in the limbic cortex or in the mind brain, mental brain or mind brain. It's the seat of the mind. But in Buddhism, it's different. We talk about that later. Okay. Now, limbic system. is an example of the interconnected nature part of the central nervous system or CNS. Is limbic system, a ring of structure around the thalamus in the center of each cerebral hemisphere. Limbic system includes hypothalamus, a portion of hypothalamus, amygdala, which is involved in the motivation and emotion, hippocampus, which play a part in memory and emotion, particularly regarding memory is related to hippocampus. But when we talk about anxiety, nervousness, any kind of emotion, when we talk about fight or fright related to amygdala, that we will see about this later. The limbic system also involves mammary body and anterior thalamic nuclei. It consists of most of the component of emotional brain, with it evolved from the smelling brain. It has a variety of functions, including emotion, behavior, learning, long-term memory, and affection. So we have already talked about the concept of unconscious or life continuum. The unconscious is the memory executive center. So in Buddhism, we talk about the concept of unconscious. So unconscious is something like a reservoir of memory experience. Any kinds of experience will be collected in the unconscious level, or even the past memory in the past life. It does not disappear. They are all collected in the unconscious experience or unconscious memory. The unconscious is located mainly in hippocampus and other center in limbic system, which usually called limbic cortex or mental brain. I have already mentioned, you see, for neuroscientists or neuropsychologists, so they think the mind is located in this area we call limbic cortex or mental brain. It is the seat of the mind. So this part of the brain also work with sensory system, mainly in the temporal lobe and associated area to receive information from the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, or the mind itself. And also it works with the limbic system to express emotion, and also work with the prefrontal lobe and related area for thought expression and action. Now we come to the concept of neuroplasticity. So you have to understand that human brain is not static, but dynamic and changeable. It's not static, but changeable. It is made up of so many neurons and connections. An estimated of 100 billion neurons, and making a total of some 100 trillion connections. So there are many neurons, many connections in the brain itself. The adult brain retains much of the plasticity of the developing brain, including the power to repair damaged regions, to grow new neurons, to rezone regions of the perform one task, and to change the surgicity itself. So you have to understand that there are so many neurons and so many neurons circuits in the brain, and they are dynamic, they are changeable. Now we come to the neuron. It is one part, only one part of the brain, very small part of the vertical is a neuron. It is a structure of a typical neuron. You can see here, over here, is called body cell. The body cell contains the nucleus and most of the other organelle. The nucleus over here. Okay, and then we can see Schwann cell. Schwann cell wrap its plasma membrane around the axon many times. Okay, it wrap around like this, forming the insulating myelin sheet. Yeah, you can see the myelin sheet. Okay, yeah, wrapping together. Okay, so when you see the neuron, you can see the cell body. Okay, and then you can see is something like the trunk or the body. Okay, yeah. And then you can see the terminal. Okay, the terminal. Yeah, you can see the terminal of the neurons over here. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
อาจารย์คะ
ครับ
ขออนุญาต
ครับ
เวลาที่อาจารย์ชี้เนี่ยเคอร์เซอร์มันไม่ไปตามที่อาจารย์ชี้
อ๋อ
ทำยังไงอาจารย์จะใช้เคอร์เซอร์ได้ไหมคะ
อ๋อเดี๋ยวลองตอนบ่ายเราค่อยๆดูทีก็ได้เดี๋ยวลองเดี๋ยวอาจจะให้
ต้องคุยกับคุณฟลุ๊กว่า
ได้ครับ
ให้อาจารย์ใช้เคอร์เซอร์ได้
ได้โอ
แล้
เคว
เวลาเลื่อนอาจารย์ก็เลื่อนเอง
จะได้เลื่อนเองได้ง่ายดีโอเคครับ
เวลาชี้เคอร์เซอร์มันก็ไปตามรูป
คือ
อย่างนี้มันอาจารย์ชี้เคอร์เซอร์มันก็ไม่ไปอ่ะ
ไม่ไปคือมันคนที่โปรเจกต์จะเป็นในอีกคนหนึ่งมันไม่ได้ทำคนเดียวกันนะเนี่ยเดี๋ยวจะให้น้องฟุกก็มาช่วยนิดนึงก็ได้เดี๋ยวโอเคครับโอเคครับงั้นเดี๋ยวลองไปเลยกันแล้วกันไปเดี๋ยวเราไปสักนิดนะเดี๋ยวจะได้จบช่วงเช้านี้ก่อนแล้วก็ต่อตอนช่วงบ่ายนะครับโอเค The next one please เอาละตรงนี้สำคัญนะฮะคือ this figure is very significant. You can see when the nerve impulse come to a neuron, so it causes what we call action potential. This is the figure of action potential. You can see the process of depolarization, repolarization. Okay, and then it starts with threshold level, and then from threshold level you come to the process of depolarization, and then we come to the spike, the peak of action potential, and then it come down to the process of repolarization, and then it comes down to the resting state. So it means that when the impulse come to the nerves, it causes action potential. And the action potential, okay, it looks like the process of arising, maintaining, and passing away, arising, maintaining, and passing away, arising, maintaining, and passing away. So this figure is very important, okay? Because if you understand this figure, and then you can understand that. So when the impulse, something like the light come into contact with the eye, it just really look like action potential. It arising and passing away, arising and passing away, arising and passing away, arising and passing away. Yeah, if you understand this figure, the figure of action potential, then you can understand the concept of the arising and passing away when there is a contact between the external stimulus and the internal stimulus. Okay, I think we had better stop at this point, and then we come back and see together again. Okay. This one you can see the stimulus come, and then come to axon, and then come to the axon terminal. Okay, so the dendrite or cell body of a neuron must be sufficiently stimulated to depolarize the membrane to its firing level. So when it's firing level, so there be a process of action potential moving along from one point to another point. Yeah, okay. Another figure, please. Okay. Yeah, I think this one. Yeah. Okay. So this process of the region of depolarization is a sodium pump move into the cell, and then repolarization begin when the sodium ion channel close and voltage activated, the potassium ion channel open, permitting potassium ion to leave the cell. It's a process of depolarization and repolarization. It's something like arising and passing away, arising and passing away, arising and passing away from one point to another point. Another figure, please. Yeah. Yes, it's something like this, okay? The nerve impulse come from one place to another place. It's something like this, okay? Action potential, electrical chemical impulse that travel from a neuron to a neuron, from one point to another point, consisting of arising and passing away, arising and passing away, or the process of depolarization and repolarization, depolarization and repolarization, arising and passing away, all the time. Okay, until it come to, we call determine the point. Determine the point. Yeah, it is a term the point. Yeah, we call this one neuron. Another part is another neuron. So there is a gap between the previous neuron and the next neuron. Yeah, the previous neuron. I say this we call synapse. Synapse. Okay, the synapse. Okay, it's a space between one neuron and the next one. This space we call synapse. And usually, when we talk about neurotransmission, it's chemical neurotransmission. Yeah, it's some kinds of depolarization and repolarization. It causes the electrical current, no, not electrical current, we call chemical current. Chemical current start from one point to another point. When we come to the terminal state of the neuron. There's a gap, the gap between the previous neuron and the next one we call synapse, as I have already mentioned. So impulse of transmitted between neuron or from a neuron to another effector neurotransmitter. This will be caused by what we call neurochemical. Yeah, we will talk about this later. Okay. Yeah, we will talk about this later. Yeah. Okay, let us stop at this point, and then we will see together again in the afternoon. Okay. Yeah. Before I stop, there might be some question or some concern or any comment. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, please. Any question, any comment, any concern? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Professor. Can I ask a question? Hello?
Okay.
My question is, do all these connections require energy? And what does the energy come from? And what drive the connection happen, the function? What drive the connection function? The energy concept, is it related to?
So I think when we talk about, let us go back to the previous picture. Okay. Can we go back to the previous? Yeah, you see, it is the neuron. Yeah, above
Yes.
is the previous neuron. Usually, the transmission of nerve we call electrical transmission. Okay, electrical
Yes.
transmission from one point to another point. But when we come to the synapse is the space between the previous neuron and the next neuron. And you can see in this figure that in the next neuron, you can see different kinds of receptor. Okay, yeah. So the receptor are created in the vesicle in the previous neuron. You can see the vesicle. When electrical impulse come to the terminal part of the neuron, the vesicle will be released, and it will release some kinds of neurotransmitter. We call neurotransmitter over here. Something like dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, something like that. Yeah, there are different kinds of neurotransmitter. Yeah, we will get into detail about that later. And then this neurotransmitter will become to fit with its we call receptor, its own receptor. So through this way, the impulse will pass from the previous receptor and then come to the next receptor because of what we call chemical conduction. This part we call chemical conduction because this conduction is related to neurotransmitter, maybe dopamine, maybe epinephrine, maybe norepinephrine, something like that. And then we come to another neurotransmitter, start with electrical transmission, and then we come to the terminal, and then we have to pass to the synapse like this. Yeah, it will be like this again and again and again and again. So it starts with electrical transmission, followed by chemical transmission, again and again and again and again. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let us stop at this point. If there is no more question, so see everybody again this afternoon at 1 p.m. Okay, at 1 p.m. Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Bye bye.
Okay.
Your turn.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.